electrons come from, what they arise out of, does not actually answer the question of why they take a specific action.
Let's go back to your original thing that you thought did not have a cause and effect. You holding a pencil and dropping it, correct?
Wait, I never said that holding a pencil and dropping it doesn't have cause and effect. Hold on.
No, but then you backed up and said, well, actually, no. So going back to this, you said that dropping a pencil, okay?
Wait. That's not what I said. So the thing that doesn't have cause and effect, or the thing that's not caused, is the and I understand the desire to want to like fight a point that I didn't make, because it's really easy to defeat that point. I agree. That's like a really shitty point. Good thing I didn't make it. But the point that I did make is that whether an electron has an upspin or a downspin is uncaused, not whether or not you drop a pencil is uncaused. That's not my point at all.
Ian, the electron does stuff. We do stuff. But the actual electron is a effect of something.
Okay, that's nice. So the contention is not that the electron is not caused by anything, just that whether it has an upspin or a downspin, that this property of the electron is not caused. That's my argument.
But that's, Ian, that's something that the electron can do, though.
Yeah, but what causes it to do that?
Do you believe script.org?
Script.org?
It's a academic publisher.
Maybe. Yeah, what's the article name?
New theory for the essence of origin of electric spin. Spin is an intrinsic form of angular momentum carried by elementary particles, composite particles, and atomic nuclei. It is widely believed that spin is purely quantum mechanical concept and has no classical analog. In fact, elementary particles are conceived as point objects which has no axis to spin around. Therefore, there is no explaining how spin arises at the fundamental level.
No shot. Okay. GG.
Why particles have the values they do, and what underpins the Pauli exclusion principle and Bose-Einstein behavior. However, spin is like vector quantity. It has a definite magnitude and it has direction. In order to spin, should be composite. In this paper, we propose a physical explanation for spin of the electron at the subparticle level, relying on the vortex model of the electron. The electron is described as a superfluid frictional vortex which has mass, angular momentum, and spin to provide a complete explanation of all properties of the electron. It composes spinning around its own axis, produces a tiny magnetic field independent of those from its orbital motions. The classic hydrodynamic laws are used to describe the quantum properties of the electron, such as spin, angular momentum, magnetic momentum, and a magnetic dipole. The circulation in the vortex is constant, and the angular momentum of the vortex is conserved and has the same value of Planck constant. The direction of the angular momentum of spinning electron vortex is along the axis of rotation and determined by the direction of spin. And the spin quantum number one or half has flex value, which represents the gap between the circulation rate at the core of the vortex and the boundaries of the vortex, and the changeable values plus 1.5 spin up or negative 1/2 spin down indicate the direction of the magnetic dipole of the vortex. The relation between spin and Planck constant is discussed, and the origin h/4 pi angular momentum units are revealed. This is a long document that I can go through if you want me to.
Well, yeah, wait, but did you hear you like slam dunk on your point in like the first couple of sentences? Like the first couple of sentences literally contain the line that it's not caused.
A new theory for the essence and origin of electron spin.
Yeah, wait, do you wanna okay, just like read from the top, and then it'll be within the first couple of sentences, and I'll stop you as soon as you say the thing that disproves your entire point.
Spin is the essential property influencing the ordering of electronics and nuclei in atoms and molecules, giving it great physical significance in chemistry and solid-state physics. Spin is likewise an essential consideration in all iterations among subatomic particles, whether in high-energy particle beams, low-temperature fluids, or flow of particles from the sun. Indeed, many of these, this is a long article. Spin magnetic moments create a basis for one of the most important principles in chemistry, that the theory plays further roles that just the expression of double. Within electronic magnetic spectrum, the additional quantum number spin become the basis of the modern standard model used today, which includes...
Wait, is this reading from like the very beginning?
No, I'm reading... No.
Wait, go back to the very beginning and read from the very beginning.
I've already read the abstract to you.
Yeah, well, yeah, and in the abstract, it literally disproves your point. You read out that these things are uncaused.
No, I did not.
Wait, then go back to the top of the abstract and read it out.
The whole thing again?
Well, yeah, it's just the first couple of sentences.
Well, the first couple of sentences is not the full explanation.
Okay, I mean, if you really want, like, if you want me to pull teeth, I'm happy to pull teeth. But I thought this was meant to be like a good faith conversation. But if you want me to, I'm happy to just pull up the article and read it to all these people. I can just read the sentence back to them to demonstrate how this article literally disagrees with you. Or you can just go back and read it from the top. It'll be within the first couple of sentences.
Spin is a intrinsic form of angular momentum carried by elementary particles. In its first sentence, it explains it. Spin is an intrinsic form of angular momentum carried by elementary particles, composite particles, and a atomic nuclei. That's the first sentence.
Yeah. Okay. Wait. So what's the what's the name of the article?
A new theory for the essence and origin of electron spin.
A new theory for the essence.
I really gotta go though, so we got
Yeah. It'll be quick. Yeah, perfect. From okay. In fact, note to spin around. Therefore, there is no explaining how spin arises at the fundamental level. Why particles have the value they do, and what underpins the Pauli exclusion principle and Bose-Einstein behaviors. This is the 1, 2, 3. This is the fourth sentence in the abstract.
It is widely believed that spin. It is widely believed.
No, the one that starts therefore. That's the what you read was the second sentence. I'm talking about the fourth sentence.
Ian, this is a theory. You know that, right?
You cited it. You cited it. This is your paper. You cited it. You cited this paper. It's your paper. This is so bad faith.
And then in the first sentence, it says spin carried by particles, and a atomic nuclei. And then the whole entire thing goes over its potential theory, which would be a cause to the effect.
You just like tore your so you're discrediting your own source.
Ian, it's a theory.
It's your source. You cited it. You can't run. It's just a theory. It's your source.
Ian, what I'm trying to say is that there is a possible cause to the effect, just like you say that there is a possible explanation to the quote unquote pyramids.
Wait, but you're literally trying to discredit your own source, dog. Why would you do that?
Do what?
Why would you? You can't run. It's just a theory.
This is just the first
when it's literally your source.
But again, this all goes back to this is a action of something. Which again, if we look at the main character of something, has a cause, and this is just an effect of what it does.
The source you cited literally says that it doesn't have a cause. I'll read the sentence again. Therefore, there is no explaining how spin arises at the fundamental level, why particles have the value they do, and what underpins the Pauli exclusion principle and Bose-Einstein behavior.
Ian, an electron has a cause.
The electron has the cause, but whether it has an upspin or a downspin does not have a cause.
is an action that it does. That's not what I'm asking.
What
That's not
causes it to do that action?
I asked you, was there anything anything in the world that like doesn't have cause and effect?
Yes.
You're a action of something.
Yes. The thing that doesn't have cause and effect
Difference
is
between this
the
and
upspin
is that
of the
I'm
electron.
listen, I'm the cause that is letting go of the pencil. Okay, the pencil drops to the ground of a law called gravity. We don't know the quote unquote action of the electronic spin, but we know what electrons come from. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
So we would, so insofar as we don't, we insofar as there's no cause to what causes them to have like a spin, or that the fact that they have an upspin or a downspin is uncaused, means that there are some things in the world which do not have a cause.
What? I'm sorry. I was
So insofar as we agree that whether it has an upspin or a downspin is uncaused, that means that there are some things in the world which are uncaused.
and the action is not fully explained. Okay? But the electron, which is the main object, like my hand would be the quote unquote electron. Me dropping the pencil is the spin. We know what happens to the pencil because we know gravity is real. We don't know about the electron spin, but the actual electron has a cause.
Yes, that's totally cool. That's not my point. This is like, it's just a red herring. The fact that the electron itself might be caused doesn't actually help you out, insofar as whether it has an upspin or a downspin is uncaused. So if whether or not it has an upspin or a downspin is uncaused, that means that there are some things in the universe which are uncaused, which is what you asked me to do to provide you with something where an instance, an event in the universe that does not have cause and effect, and I gave you the event in the universe that does not have cause and effect.
Yeah. Again, the electron, something that the electron does, the quote unquote action, right? There's no explanation yet, correct? But the actual electron has a cause of what it does.
What do you think the electron? Well, wait, but it doesn't. That's the
And
problem.
hold on. And the electron would be the beginning to the spin, which would be the end. Now, how the beginning to the end gets to the thing, we don't have the full explanation of.
It's not that we don't have the full explanation. We have we have a explanation. The most common explanation is the Copenhagen interpretation, and the Copenhagen interpretation holds that it's probabilistic, that whether any given electron has an upspin or a downspin, that's just uncaused. This is the most common interpretation among physicists.
So we do know how it spins.
No, so the explanation is that it's uncaused. That why it has an upspin rather than a downspin. There's no explanation for any given electron.
We don't
That
know.
the most common interpretation is that it's uncaused.
And I guarantee it's going to still be studied until we find a possible explanation, correct?
Because all explanations of quantum mechanics rely on something that's uncaused. That Copenhagen interpretation says that the upspin downspin is uncaused. Like the multi-universe theory, well, the multiverse theory holds that like the universe itself is uncaused. There's an uncaused element in literally every aspect of any interpretation of quantum mechanics involves something that's uncaused.
Ian, the electron has a cause. Therefore, it's not the beginning of life. It's not the beginning of the orders of the universe. Correct?
Wait, can you ask that question one more time?
The electron has a cause, correct?
Yeah, wait, so the electron itself can have a cause, but it doesn't have, whether it has an upspin or a downspin doesn't have a cause. So wait, and I don't know, like, I don't know who you think is falling for this, but just saying over and over and over again, well, the electron itself has a cause, that doesn't help you. That's not my point.
That's the
My argument is not that the electron itself, its existence is uncaused. It's that it having an upspin or a downspin, that's uncaused. So there are some things in our universe which are uncaused, which means we have some grounding for saying that the universe itself can be uncaused insofar as we know that uncaused things exist.
We do not know if the electron spin doesn't have a explanation. At this current time, we don't know. But like as you say in every single live stream, we might eventually know as a naturalist. So in the same light, we might eventually know in the future how the electron spin is indeed happened. But at this current date, we do not know. But what we do know is that the electron has a cause, just like everything.
You're going back to it. You're like short-circuiting, dude. You keep on running back to this argument. It doesn't help you. It's not relevant.
Ian, how not?
Because my point is not that electrons themselves do not have causes, but whether an electron is an upspin or a downspin, that doesn't have a cause. Running back to the point that electrons themselves have a cause, that doesn't help you here.
At this current time, correct? In the future, we might know, correct? Just like as you say, and every other person that is a naturalist, we might eventually know everything, correct? But like at this current time, we do not know the answer to it.
So I think you're confused about the Copenhagen interpretation isn't like, well, we don't know. The Copenhagen interpretation is that it's not like an agnostic position. It's an affirmative position that affirmatively the upspin and the downspin is uncaused. It's not a we don't know, we'll find out in the future. It's a we do know, it's uncaused.
We don't know. That's just what like people's current synopsis is, correct?
Wait, so you think that you know more about quantum mechanics than all the quantum physicists?
I'm saying in the current, on September 18th at 12:24 p.m. now, EST, the current consistency is we do not know the explanation of the electron spin, but we might know eventually. But we do know, again, that everything has a beginning and an end. Everything has a cause and effect.
I disagree. And you disagree as well, because do you think God has a beginning?
There has to be a beginning.
Do you think God has a beginning?
I presuppose that God is the beginning.
Oh, wait, but does God have a beginning? So because this is just special pleading, because you can't, if you presuppose, wait, hold on, that's unbelievably bad faith. You presuppose that God is the beginning? Are you kidding? So you spent all that time saying, well, everything has a beginning, everything has a beginning, everything has a beginning. But God, no. I presuppose that he doesn't have a beginning because he is the beginning. I just presuppose it. That's fine. Then I'll just go ahead and presuppose that the universe doesn't have a beginning.
Hey, and guess what? You can do that. You know why? Because again, everybody presupposes, everybody has their own opinions, everybody has differences, but at the end of the day, we do not know of the 6 things. Okay, but I really gotta go.
Okay, all right, bye-bye. But how do in order to get from a thing not existing to the thing existing, to cause that's an act of creation. So Satan must have the ability to create in order for him to create malaria.
He created sin.
Oh, wait, so then Satan does have the power of creation.
Sin, yeah, he can sin. If you call it
Gotcha.
creative.
Wait, so then you would disagree with what you said earlier, like just a second ago.
It's more of a disobedience to God.
Okay, wait, so where does so you think malaria came from Satan?
Yes, all sickness came from from man, from our decision to listen to Satan.
Gotcha. Wait, so malaria didn't exist before man chose Satan?
Malaria didn't exist before man chose Satan. It may have, if it was in a dinosaur bone, the devil was here before man was, and he sinned.
Yeah, so why would God, so it wasn't in a dinosaur bone, cancer was in a dinosaur bone. Malaria was in a fossilized mosquito.
Either way, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, wait, so why would God allow for Satan to create malaria?
Why he is sin. He didn't create it, okay? It happened because when you sin, the wages of sin is death. When you sin and don't do things God's way, death happens.
So and what mechanism by which like physical mechanism is malaria created in your worldview?
What physical mechanism?
Yeah, what physical mechanism? Is there like a law of
Can't see
physics
I
that
can't see
causes
how.
this, or is it just like more supernatural magic?
So what you're asking me is if man sins, how is the disease, how is the malaria created in the invisible realm affecting the natural elements? You're asking me to tell you
Yeah,
that.
yeah, I am. Yeah,
I
basically, yeah.
don't. I don't. If that's a good reason for you to not believe in God, I feel sorry for you.
No, that's like a well, yeah.
You
There's
have
just no
zero
evidence for
faith.
any
You
of
have zero
because your
faith.
explanation is
You
just
have
magic.
zero faith, and then you go negative, like you are so far from faith.
Well, yeah. I mean, you're essentially
And
positing
you're
magic.
arguing
I
with
don't
points
believe in
that
magic.
nobody.
Sorry.
You're arguing with points that nobody can answer you but God Himself, and you're
Well,
trying to cook me
yeah,
with
because I can give an
questions
explanation of
that
anything
only
in my
God.
worldview.
You can give an answer. Are you God?
Oh no, but God isn't real, so I can give an
Okay. So
explanation of where
how is
bacteria
malaria
came
made?
from.
How is malaria made?
Oh, so malaria evolved.
From what?
It's a bacterium, so it just like other bacterium.
From where they come from?
If you go back far enough, your all the evidence seems to point to abiogenesis.
Biogenesis. What is that?
So it's the process whereby from this like primordial soup of organic chemicals arises the very first cell.
Okay, where'd the soup come from?
Where'd the soup come from? The soup came from the like rapid expansion of the universe.
Who caused the rapid expansion? How did that happen?
It's not a who question. The universe has always existed.
How did that happen?
The universe has always existed.
But how did the rapid expansion happen? What's the molecular?
Yeah, the rapid expansion. The evidence seems to indicate that the rapid expansion happened via quantum fluctuations from an extremely hot dense state.
Okay. All right. So, do you have any other questions?
Oh, I mean, do you have are you going to find the internal inconsistency?
Wait,
Because
what?
so under my worldview, I have an explanation of where malaria came from, whereas under your worldview, you have no explanation.
What you just said? You call that an explanation?
Yeah, you could find no critiques of it. Yeah, it's a really good explanation even.
Find no critiques of it.
Give a critique.
Of all those scientific terms you just used about the biogenesis, rapid expansion, everything else. Okay, so I can't, because I don't buy into man's word and that he can know all of that going back billions of years. I don't have the faith in man's word that you do.
It's not faith, it's evidence that
Okay, I don't have faith that evidence is credible.
Oh, but it is, and that's just going to be a verifiable fact.
This is credible.
No, it isn't. Wait, prove that it's credible. Wait, oh, that's actually, I can prove that it's not credible very easily.
No, you can't.
Yeah, wait, so if the flood happened, how did the kangaroos get to Australia?
Who knows what the land masses looked like back then?
So, okay, oh, no, so we do know what the land masses looked like back then, because we have the fossil
different
evidence which
ways.
would
Maybe
indicate what
somebody-
things were together.
Maybe somebody took them in a boat.
Yeah, wait, do you have any evidence of that?
No, do you have any evidence they didn't?
Oh, absolutely, because we have no accounts of this, and in fact,
There are no
we have,
accounts.
oh,
Is it no accounts
so,
as evidence?
wait, hold on.
You have no account that I was.
Hold
that I,
on,
You have
hold
no accounts
on.
that I existed last night.
Yeah, okay, wait,
You
so,
have no accounts of what I did last night.
presumably you would be the account that you existed last night, insofar as
What
you
did I
weren't
do? What
born
did I
this
do? Did I
morning.
take a boat across
But
the lake last
the
night?
reason why this explanation is going to be unsatisfactory is because we know how the kangaroos got to Australia. They evolved there.
No, we don't know that. That's what you believe.
No, this is just going to come down to all the brutal amounts of fossil evidence. We know the exact trajectory that kangaroos followed. We have
Right. You put your
we have
faith-
the civilization of indigenous Australians who affirms the existence of kangaroos, and this is the oldest recorded civilization in all of history.
And people are impressed by these things you say.
I'm not sure what. It's not impressive. It's just a
Follow you for
fact.
this? Are you serious? Is that your explanation of the evolution of a kangaroo? That's
Oh, if
silly.
you want, do you want the
How can you
explanation of
put your
evolution?
faith-
I can explain evolution to you if you're interested.
Well,
Just
look,
that the things that are good at
saved-
surviving and reproducing are going to be
I got
selected
saved a long
for
time
survival and
ago.
reproduction.
I got saved a long time ago. I only had enough faith to believe Jesus was God
I didn't ask.
and that He forgives me. This is my life. I only had enough faith to believe that Jesus is God and that he paid for my sins, and I got saved. I received the Spirit of God. I've been reading the Bible for over 18 years every single day. He's shown me things that you can't see without God. So I know that he's real. I have a relationship with him. I talk to him every single day. I don't know exactly what happened before Adam and Eve when the world was formless and void. I don't know all that. But to believe what you believe takes a lot more faith. And you put your faith in what science tells you. I mean, I believe science, but I don't believe man knows every single answer for everything. I think man is imperfect.
Oh, I mean that's all real nice. You know, very, very nice, very cool. You say that my worldview requires faith. What part of my worldview am I not relying on evidence for?
All that, everything going back to the primordial ooze and before that.
There's evidence for that.
Sure. It takes faith to believe that evidence. I mean, unless you have a complete and full understanding and you've handled the evidence and scrutinized it yourself. And even then, you're not perfect, and the people who gave you that evidence aren't perfect.
Yeah, wait, so which critique of my evidence do you have?
Jesus is a spirit. God is a spirit. He's a spiritual God. Okay, so
yeah, wait, prove it. Go ahead and prove it.
Science, go ahead and prove that God is there.
Yeah, go ahead and prove it. Go ahead and prove that Jesus is a spiritual God or that God exists. Go ahead.
Well, you won't believe in the spirit. You won't believe God's real because you've chosen not to.
I will if you prove it. I would love to have a relationship with God. There's just no evidence.
If you have a brand new Corvette in your driveway, but you don't believe it, and I try to hand you the keys to that Corvette, I can't possibly do that. I can't possibly hand you the keys to that Corvette. Even though they are the keys to that Corvette, they'll be.
This is like wildly disanalogous. I can see, touch, and feel the Corvette. I can't see, touch, or feel God.
Because you don't get up and look for him. You got to go.
I have looked for him. I've prayed multiple times to no response. I used to be a Christian, and then I realized, oh wait, no way. In fact, there's none of these prayers are answered. I've never felt anything. I have no evidence that God exists.
Well, you were investigating, and you asked him for some prayers, and he didn't answer, and then you said, okay, so that means he doesn't exist. Instead of, well, let me see, what am I doing wrong? Let me look and see.
Always the fault of the person who's praying. So either you pray and you get a response, in which case God exists, or you pray and you don't get a response, and it's because you're not trying hard enough because God still exists.
When I pray and I don't have an answer right away, I don't say, oh, God's not real. No, I ask him, what's going on? What has to change? What am I doing? Do I not have faith? I don't think he's not real. I think that I need to do something different. But you said he's not real. You believe you were investigating, and you concluded your investigation when you found something you thought was evidence that he doesn't exist, which is impossible because you can't prove he doesn't exist.
Oh yeah, you can. That's like super easy. That's not proving that he doesn't exist isn't even like particularly hard.
Go ahead.
Do you think that God's all-knowing?
Yep.
Okay. If God's all-knowing, then how is it possible for him to change his mind?
If he plans to change his mind for somebody who prays to him.
So, wait. Okay, but I'm not asking about prayer, because there's literally a story in Exodus where God changes his mind about eradicating the Israelites.
Okay.
So if God knows everything, then how is it possible that he changes his mind? Wouldn't he just know that he was going to change his mind, thus making it him not changing his mind?
Well, that's the question. Why is it there? It shows us that he will listen to prayer. But I'm looking at it from a place where he already does know everything. You're looking at it from a place where, okay, he's not real, so why is he changing his mind? Or I don't know if that makes sense, but God knows everything. If he plans to change his mind, it's because he plans for somebody, one of his saints, to pray to him so that he can do it for them.
Yeah, wait, so how does this respond to the fact that, I mean, there's literally a story where God changes his mind. Do you reject that story?
No, I just answered that.
Okay, wait, so let's just do like a quick simple thought experiment. So does God know that he was going to change his mind?
Yes.
Okay. So did God know that he was going to do the thing when he didn't change his mind. So in this story, he said that he was going to like destroy the Israelites. Did he know that he was going to destroy the Israelites?
He knew he wasn't going to.
Gotcha. So then God's a liar. So he said, I'm going to destroy the Israelites, and he knew he was not going to do that. So then God told a lie.
Well, God's outside of time.
So but God's outside of truth is what he is. He's a liar. You just said that he's a liar.
I'm sorry if that's the way you see it, but he said, I mean, what verse is it? Let's look at the verse. If he said, I'm going to destroy somebody to one of his saints, then he was going to. And if the saint prayed to him, then he changed his mind.
Yeah, but did God know? So before God changes his
He
mind,
knew he was going to change his mind.
yeah, wait, but before God changes his mind, did he know that he wasn't actually going to do the thing that he said he was going to do?
Yes.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. So he did know that he was going to do the thing that he said he was going to do.
He knew he wasn't going to do it because he knew somebody was going to pray.
Gotcha. Wait, so then you're saying
if
that,
he hadn't prayed, he was going to do it, so he wasn't lying.
okay, wait, so could you give me a definition of a lie?
No, but if
You can't give me a definition of a lie.
If the person wasn't going to pray, he was going to do it, so he
Wait,
wasn't
can you give me a
lying.
definition of a lie?
No, I know what a lie is. So
Yeah, then give me a definition.
if the person would not have prayed to him, he was going to do it.
Give me a definition of a lie.
No.
Okay, that's fine. Then I'll give you a definition of a lie. So a lie is going to be affirming something to be true when you know that it's not true. Do you agree or disagree with that?
I believe God is God. And he
Do
was
you think that's an
going
answer to my question?
He was going to destroy the Israelites
Do you-
until somebody prayed.
Do you
But he knew
agree
they
or
were gonna
disagree with my definition
pray. Ian,
of a lie?
I can't tell you I can't tell you how to be God.
Do you agree or disagree with my definition of a lie?
I agree that you can't be God.
Do you agree or disagree with my definition of a lie?
A lie is what men do. God can't lie.
Do you agree or disagree
Yes.
with my definition of a
agree.
lie?
A lie is something you say it's not true, and you say something opposite of it. Yes.
Yeah, perfect. So God said that he was going to destroy the Israelites when in fact he knew he was not going to destroy the Israelites. Do you agree?
Yes.
Okay, so then God told a lie.
No.
He told something that he knew was false. He
When he
affirmed
said it
to be
was
true
true.
something he knew was false. Definition of a lie. So God's a
He's
liar.
We're not God, though. He's outside of time.
That's
He's
nice.
different
Just
than
saying
us.
he's outside of time
He's
doesn't
different
help
than
you.
us. He's excluded. He's outside of time. He does not.
And how do you think that changes any part of this?
When God told that person he was going to destroy the Israelites, was it true?
I don't think the story happened, so you can't really ask me.
Well, if that doesn't, you know what I'm asking you. When God said, "I'm going to destroy the Israelites," was he telling the truth to that saint?
I don't think any of this happened, so you can't really ask me.
Okay, so you're not even you won't even let
Well,
me.
because
answer
you're asking me about events that I don't believe happened. It's like me asking you, like,
let me
did
answer
you
for
did
you.
you stop beating your wife?
Let me answer for you. So when God told the saint that he was going to destroy the Israelites, it was true. He was going to. The saint therefore prayed, and God didn't do it. Does God know everything that's going to happen? He can't not. But when he said that, he didn't lie.
So he knew. Okay, so the definition of a lie that we agreed on is saying something, affirming something to be the case when you know that it is not the case. So God affirmed that he was going to destroy the Israelites when he knew, in fact, he was not going to destroy the Israelites. If you agree with both parts of that, then you would agree that God fits the definition of a liar.
Okay, you can believe that, but God
Perfect.
knows.
So then God doesn't exist.
I mean, I don't know what to tell you. You think you're winning, man, but you're not. You're losing. That's that. You think you want.
Do you think you look good right now? Do you think you're doing well in this debate?
Yes.
That's embarrassing. Wait, do you actually think you think affirming that God is a liar? You think that makes you look
Oh, I
good?
didn't affirm it. I think
You have no
think,
critique of it.
I think you're totally cooked.
This is the most insane cope I've ever
this
heard.
is
You
the-
got
this is the
folded
thing,
like a
Ian,
chair,
look.
scrambled like an omelet, reformatted like a hard drive, baked like a baked potato, crushed like an egg. You got your ankles shattered.
Okay, let me read you a verse, bud.
Okay, it's just gonna be like the fool says there is no God, or
No, but the natural man does not accept the things of the Spirit of God, for they are foolishness to him, and he cannot understand them because they are spiritually discerned. So to you, all this is nonsense, but you're cooked in truth.
Do you think anyone agrees with you?
People of God who have spiritual discernment, yes.
Oh, okay, yeah. So people who are already bought into your book club. Do you think anybody on the fence, like anyone who's agnostic, would agree?
No, if you don't have spiritual discernment, you might think I'm cooked.
Okay.
Yeah. Enjoy it. I mean, I guess. There's a spirit realm. There's a God. He's real. God is love. You know, you say there's no love. Love doesn't exist. Love, you know, there's no proof for love. It sounds like you got hurt by love or disappointed by love.
Yeah, I did get hurt by love. That's why I'm so bitter. There's just no love in the world. God, I just wish that there was love so I could go back to being Christian.
Yeah, there is. You can repent.
Yeah, I know. I'll look into that. I'll need to repent based on how
God will love
loveless
you.
my life is. Fuck,
Jesus
I
will
just
love
wish there was some like love in my life.
The Bible says that Jesus is a stumbling block to the Jews and foolishness to the Greeks. To those who already think they have religion, he's an offense because they already have their religious activities and their clout, and they don't want to hear about Jesus. They're offended. They already know the way. And the wise, the Greeks are like the wise. They know too much. They have too much understanding, too many theories, and he's a stumbling block.
So I'm not. I take zero offense to people believing in God. What I think is, dare I say, offensive is using your fairy tale to affect real world policy. The fact that you think that the Bible talks about Trump, that you would base your decision to vote for Donald Trump, a person who's been held civilly liable for SA, on a fairy tale is insane.
Innocent too?
What was that?
You believe OJ is innocent too?
Do I believe OJ is innocent too?
Yeah.
No, I think OJ is guilty.
But the court said he was innocent.
Yeah. Well, it said that he was like civilly liable.
Same thing. The court decided he was innocent.
They decided he was civilly liable. Wait, oh my God, I can't believe you would cite OJ.
Yeah.
OJ is like the worst thing that you could have cited. This is like literally the opposite. Because OJ was held civilly liable. If you think OJ was OJ wasn't found guilty by the courts, he was held civilly liable. Oh no.
Innocent.
You just cooked yourself. Oh no.
He got off.
No, he was held civilly liable. That's the worst example you could have picked.
Criminally, he got off.
Yeah, criminally he got off and then he was
Well,
held
that's what I'm
civilly
talking
liable.
about.
Wait, do you think OJ was guilty?
Yes.
He wasn't held guilty by the court, he was held civilly liable. Oh no. Why would you pick OJ?
Well, you're missing the point. That's why.
You just cooked yourself. That was crazy.
I didn't. You missed the point.
You need to find a better example than OJ.
Let me explain it to you. The court doesn't always get it right. That was the point. OJ got off.
Yeah, he got off on the criminal proceedings.
you
Yeah,
go.
the
He
court
got
doesn't
off.
always get it right, but it's
There
just
you
like
go.
really unlikely. The nine separate juries or 9 separate jurors found that Trump.
Can you not take a step back and see all the things that led up to that and the timing? And I mean, that doesn't mean anything to you. It's just the court said it.
It's just more conspiracies. Do you have any evidence that
I don't
any of
care.
this influenced
I
the
don't-
court decision at all?
I don't care if you're offended though, because you say fairy tale and stuff like that. I don't care if you're offended. It's okay. That's your problem. I want to vote. I'm going to vote for Trump because this other candidate has no regard for God's word. And when you do what's blessed, God blesses it. When you do what's sinful, He doesn't bless it.
I mean, Trump literally cheated on his wife with a porn star. What are you talking about? Trump's a terrible Christian. He was once asked like, "What's your favorite book of the Bible?" And he couldn't name a single book of the Bible. He couldn't do it.
Listen, don't marry him and don't go to Bible study with him. We're voting for him for president.
You just said that you're not voting for Kamala because she forsakes the word of God. Trump literally couldn't name a single book of the Bible.
Okay, so that doesn't equal aborting people.
Oh, well, I'm just going to say that they're not people.
Of course you are, because you don't fear God, but they are. And God.
Wait, what's your evidence that they're people?
Jeremiah 1:5, Ephesians 1:4.
You already lost on the Bible debate. You can't cite the Bible. You need to prove it.
No, I don't have to prove it.
We already talked about the Bible, and we
believe God.
discovered in the Bible that God's a liar, that God told lies.
Hey, don't call God a liar, my life.
God is a liar. You
do it
had
again,
no
you're out.
response to it. You had no
Again, you're
rebuttal.
going.
Okay, I accept your surrender. folded like a chair,
What?
scrambled like an omelet, reformatted like a hard
I'm not
drive.
interested in that childish stuff. Are you? Is there anything else you want to bring up, man?
I don't know. You should really look in the mirror and reevaluate your life. Maybe listen to this debate again, because you just got torn in half on like every single point.
Okay. Anything else?
I don't know. I think you're the problem with society.
Okay. I'm the problem with society.
Yeah, I guess I could come up with more things, but I don't know. Yeah. All right.
I'm
Well,
not the
appreciate you having me
problem. I'm
on.
not the problem. I want to bring people to Jesus. I want people.
Oh, yeah. So you're the problem with society because you're basing your real world decisions about how to treat other people and how to engage with politics based off of a Bronze Age fairy tale.
It's ageless. God doesn't change his word.
Well, except he did in the Exodus story when he changes his mind.
Well, he planned to change his mind for the saints. He will for praying.
Gotcha. Wait, so he planned on changing his word, so he does change his word. Perfect.
Yeah, but you're not God. You don't. You can't figure out how to be God, though. I can't tell you how to be God.
Okay, wait. Why would you want to take your advice from a book that literally says that slavery is okay?
So it doesn't say it's okay.
It
but
does.
I got saved. I got saved because I believed Jesus loved me. I saw the cross and he paid for my sins, and that's love to me. He died for me. He died in my place, and I wanted to be forgiven. So I got saved. I fell back into sin, and then I started asking for proof. I asked him to show me who he was by the time I turned 30, and he did. I had an encounter with God in 2006, and that is when I started reading his word every single day, and he started revealing it to me.
Yeah, that's like a cool little story, but it does say that slavery is okay. It says in Leviticus 25:44 through 46 that the Israelites can own slaves from the nations around them. Why would an all good God say that anybody can own slaves from the nations around them?
Exodus? You mean Exodus?
Leviticus 25:44 through 46.
Okay. Well, in Exodus is usually where people point me, but God had just delivered the Israelites from hard bondage in Egypt. So he sets the captives free.
Yeah, except in the very next book, he says, "Go and take captives."
He's perfect. He does things in the right time. He does the best
Gotcha.
things at the right time.
Gotcha. So you think the slavery he commanded was perfect?
No, I think he wasn't thinking 3,500 years ahead.
So wait. Your timeless God wasn't thinking.
I think he wasn't thinking 3,500 years ahead what would satiate your moral compass, because you're just a man like me, and we don't know everything God.
Slavery is bad, actually.
We weren't there.
I think slavery is always wrong. Do you disagree?
I think that back in that time, it was a way for people to pay restitution, pay off a debt, marry into a family, and it would have probably disrupted their whole economy. But he did get away,
Oh
he did do away with
no.
it.
So none of the starting stuff is true. The only thing that's true is that maybe it would have disrupted their economy. But
How do you
that's
know?
okay because unfortunately, like even if it's good for the economy, slavery is still wrong. It's still wrong for God to command slavery.
Okay, so you find fault with what God did.
Absolutely, yeah. Slavery is bad. Yeah.
Okay, but you're 23, right? 23 years old. You've been here for 23 years. You don't know what's going to happen in a half hour. You don't know the person sitting next to you. God knows every single thing that's going to happen in every single person. His way of doing things and our way is not going to be the same.
Gotcha. So God did slavery in the perfect way.
It was already there.
But God said that they can do it. God could have said, no slaves, there will be no slavery.
God knows more than you. He knows better than you and me. We don't have to. How can we understand everything he does? He's God.
Slavery is bad, actually. That's how, like, we can
What
evaluate that God did something wrong based on the fact that you and I both agree to that slavery is bad. If God's all good, what he would have said is no slaves. He had no problem saying, no mixing fabrics, but he couldn't bring himself to say no slaves. In fact, he said, you can have slaves. Go forth and have slaves.
Everything God does in the Old Testament and the New Testament has a spiritual principle behind it.
What's the spiritual principle behind telling people that they can own slaves?
He does not demand that we be perfect right away.
He permits them to own slaves. He said, well, because he demands perfection in other things. He demands perfection in mixing of fabrics and crop fields. He says, you can't have these crops with these crops. He says, you can't have these fabrics with these fabrics. He says, you can't eat these shellfish. But for slavery, You know, he doesn't draw any hard lines. He says, no, you can own slaves. It's totally cool with me.
Well, there's a spiritual principle behind it. Like
Yeah,
I
what's the
said.
spiritual principle behind allowing slaves?
So you may be addicted to something. You may be a slave to sin, and he doesn't demand perfection immediately.
Okay, so what does that have to do with God allowing slavery?
Everything he did in the Old Testament has a spiritual principle behind
I'm
it.
asking you what the spiritual principle is.
I just told you.
So God's saying it's okay to be an addict? Because
No.
so you're saying that slavery is like addiction, and God said it's okay to own slaves.
Don't have
So
to
is
be
God
perfect.
saying that it's okay to be an addict?
You don't have to
This
be
is
perfect.
nonsense.
No, that's not what I said. I said if you're coming out of addiction, you don't have to be perfect right away. There's people that come out of addiction and they still smoke cigarettes.
So why would God, for some things, lay down these hard lines like you will not own slaves, but for other things, or no? So he lays down like these hard lines related to like shellfish, and fabrics and
He's gonna put
crops. But
extra
in
in-
slaves, he says, no, go for it. It's fine. You can own other people as property.
Hold on a second. So the easy answer is we can't figure out God. We need to walk with him. We need to receive the Spirit of God and walk with him, and he shows us things. He reveals things to us as we walk with him.
Okay, how do you know that God isn't just going to send you to hell for being a Christian? How do you know that if you don't know God, if God's ways are higher than our ways, how do you know that it's not the case that all the atheists get to go to heaven and all the Christians get to go to, or like get sent straight to hell? How do you know?
So first of all, you should stop saying you were a Christian, because you would know that. You would
Yeah,
know
no.
that.
Well, tell me, because any answer you
were
give is
at
going to
any time
posit
a
properties of
Christian.
God which you
If
reject.
you were at any time a Christian, you would know that. So I know
Yeah, give the
God's
answer.
not going to send me to hell because he paid for my sins already on the cross.
But you don't know God, so how do you know he doesn't do the 1-2 switcheroo on you?
You can believe that if you want.
Oh,
God
gotcha. Wait, so you have no way of knowing that he's not going to do that to you. You have literally no way.
I do.
Oh, wait, so how do you know?
I believe.
Gotcha. Oh, okay, wait. So I can believe the
I
sky
have
is
faith.
red. I can
have
believe
faith.
that there's spaghetti and meatballs in my car engine. But just because I believe something doesn't mean it's true. So how do you know it's the case? How do you know it's true
Well,
that God
I
isn't
don't know
going
how to
to
dis-
send all the Christians to hell and bring all the atheists to heaven if God's ways
can't-
are just higher than ours?
if you can't discern meatballs in your engine and God, I don't know what to tell you, but I believe he's God. I believe he's real. I believe his word. It's my choice. He reveals himself to those who believe.
Yeah, wait, so you ran out of argument. Everyone just saw you, so you ran out of arguments, and instead of conceding or saying I don't know, you said, well, that's just what I believe. You're basing your decision to vote for Trump off of a fairy tale that you can't even defend, past saying, well, that's just what I believe. I know that's what you believe. It's nonsense. It's incoherent, and when you get pushed on it, all you can say is that's just what I believe.
Okay, let me respond again. When we believe, God reveals himself through his word. He gives us encounters. He shows up. That's how we know. He did it for his apostles. He showed up and revealed himself after he was crucified.
You have no evidence of this.
Well, I don't need evidence. He did it for me in 2000.
Oh, gotcha. So you're basing your decision on who to vote off of on a fairy tale, which
So the Bible says he's a rewarder of those who diligently seek him. If you diligently seek him, he will reveal himself to you. But he's not going to reward you for my diligent search. He's not going to reward me for your diligent search.
why would I diligently seek? Wait, so have you spent lots of time like diligently seeking for Zeus or diligently seeking for Allah?
No.
Oh, then why would I spend time diligently? I'm sorry. Wait, one more question. Why haven't you spent time diligently seeking for these?
Because when I wanted to turn to God, I wanted to be forgiven. I didn't want to perform for anybody. I didn't want to find out. All I wanted to do was be forgiven. Okay, and I looked to the one person who loved me, who I believe loved me, who paid for my sins on the cross, and that was Jesus. So I went to him and I got reborn. I felt that experience. I lived that experience, but my sin, I fell back into sin, and that caused me to doubt. Then I asked him for proof. Then I asked him for evidence, and he showed it to me.
Do you remember what question I just asked you?
Yeah, why didn't I look for others? And this is the answer. If you listen, if you open your ears.
Well, wait, but why
Because
would
God
you?
proved himself to me.
Because
When
you're not
no,
answering the
listen, let me
question.
answer. Let me answer.
You you just had the opportunity to answer and you didn't. So I'll
This
just
is
ask the
my
question
live.
again.
This is my
Let's see if we can get an
Ask
answer.
me, this is my live. You're not going to do that in my live. Let me answer you. This is what you.
Hold on, my mic's much louder than yours. I can just talk over you and ask the question.
This is what you guys do. You won't listen.
You're being incredibly bad faith. I have no reservations about doing this. You just need to answer the question.
No, you need to be quiet for a second. This is my live. If you wanna listen to the answer, that's fine, or I can pull you down. Listen to the answer though. I know you don't want to, but listen to the answer. So I got saved, and then I fell back into sin, and then I prayed one desperate prayer every once in a while that he would show me who he is. But I didn't want to look for God. I wasn't sure he was there. I didn't have enough faith to look for other gods. And why would I want them? They didn't forgive my sins. Do they love me? I don't know. They didn't show me anything. I didn't think he was listening. And then he showed up and answered my prayer. So when Jesus shows up and says, I'm Jesus, you don't go looking for other people.
Okay, wait. So did you ever pray to Allah or to Zeus?
Why would I? I just told you, they don't forgive. They didn't do anything for me.
They do forgive.
How do they forgive sins?
Oh, Allah forgives sins.
How? Who paid for them?
You don't need someone to pay for them. Allah will just forgive you. Wait, why
Okay,
does there need to be a payment?
If you take somebody's life, does the state require you to pay anything?
Does depends?
The what?
Depends.
Depends.
When a soldier takes the life of a civilian, very often they're not required to pay anything.
If you murder somebody, does the state make you pay?
Depends. I mean, when a soldier unalives a civilian, very often these soldiers aren't required to pay anything.
Breaks the law and commits first-degree murder, the state requires.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. So we need to narrow it down. Sure. Well, it depends.
The state requires you to pay with your life.
Wait, so that's because the state is going to function off of limited resources, but God has the power to forgive you and make you whole. So there's just no reason to think that God couldn't do this.
It's not about power. He's not unpowerful. He wants to punish sin. If a child was to be abused here on earth, God would be evil if he turned his face and never did anything about it. But he's not evil. He's good and he's just. It is appointed for a man to die once, and after this, the judgment. So everybody's going to pay for sin. He wants to punish sin.
Speaking of whether or not you have to pay for taking someone's life, I mean, all those Jan 6ers that Trump says he's going to pardon after they unalived a police officer. So, I mean, in cases like that, there's certainly no payment for first-degree unaliving.
Yeah, but that's not the point I'm making. And
well, because that obliterates the point you're making, which is why you don't want to talk about that.
Well, how's that relevant to him being president, though?
Because are you pro-police? Are you pro-law and order?
Of course.
So then how are you going to vote for someone who says that he's going to pardon someone who assaulted police officers?
Easy. I just look at the two wars, all the millions of dead people in Ukraine, all the people dead in the United States, people can't afford groceries. I was more focused on those things.
Yeah, let's go through those points one at a time.
Okay.
Trump is going to be directly responsible for the war in Ukraine, insofar as he absolutely shattered our military alliances by saying like crazy indefensible shit like I'm not going to honor Article 5. Directly responsible for increasing the tensions in the Middle East by moving the embassy to Israel to Jerusalem. He's going to be directly responsible for inflation based on his handling of COVID-19. Could you point to a single policy or action by Kamala that led to any of the problems that you just listed? What did Kamala do that led to any of these?
Sure, they were elected and they're weak, and our leaders don't care about them. They don't fear them. And Trump.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't.
Wait, which leaders are we talking about?
All of them. Putin.
Oh yeah, so so Putin invaded just on the basis that NATO was super weak. Trump left NATO weak with his threat to pull out of NATO, with his
Putin
never affirming that he would honor Article 5 of NATO.
Because Biden was in office.
Prove it.
If you can't see that, I can't. How can I convince you if you can't see that?
Wait, prove it. Wait, first of all, Joe Biden has certainly lost my vote. But second of all, you need to prove that Kamala had literally any part in causing the invasion of Ukraine. You have no
Okay.
evidence for this.
Prove she didn't.
That's oh wait, it's your burden to prove. I'm not gonna let you burden shift.
Well, you don't have to. I don't have to prove it to you. You don't have to believe it.
Yes, you do. You're making the claim. It's your burden to prove it.
No, I don't care if you believe
Wait,
it.
wait. There's a
can't-
ghost in the corner of your room, and if you vote for Donald Trump, he's going to blow up the entire world. Prove that this ghost doesn't exist.
If you can't see what happened the last 4 years, how am I going to open your eyes?
You can demonstrate it. Let's see the evidence.
You're so far asleep. How can I open your eyes?
Let's see the evidence.
Do you have
I
eyes?
love evidence. Let's see it.
Joe Biden, weak. Putin sees it, attacks. Easy.
No, that's not why. I mean, these invasions take
No, that's not
quite
why.
wait.
That's
So
what-
an
no,
invasion of
that's
this
not
nature
why.
would take quite a bit of time to plan.
That's
I
your
think
argument?
what actually happened. Wait, so
No,
if
that's not why.
hold on. If Biden is so weak, it would seem to reason that Putin would actually wait until much later in the presidency. That Putin would invade at the turning point when it is. If it's just going to keep on getting weaker,
When his
if
term's
world
almost over?
relations, hold on, if world relations are just going to keep on getting weaker, then it seems like Putin would wait longer and longer to make the invasion even easier. But it seems like Trump made all these things much weaker.
No, it seems like
And then
you wouldn't wait till the
because
end of the
Biden
presidency.
and Kamala were strengthening
till the end of the
relations with all these countries, that now is the opportune time because this is the weakest that they were ever going to be. So it seems like Trump actually did a good job of weakening our ally relations,
No, it doesn't
which
seem like that.
incentivized Putin to actually launch the invasion in the first place.
Doesn't seem like that to me at all. And I would
Gotcha. Wait, so do you have a critique?
Yeah, I wouldn't wait for the end of the presidency when Trump can be elected again to attack. That doesn't make sense at
Well,
all.
yeah, but by the end of the presidency, the NATO and its allies were getting stronger.
Prove it.
Yeah. So NATO was heavily weakened by Trump because he never affirmed Article 5, which is the mutual defense clause of
If you
NATO.
could see in the
Wait, hold
future
on. Wait, do you want
what's
me to
gonna
prove it?
happen,
Wait, do you want me to prove it?
so
I can prove it. Do you want me to prove it?
So Putin was good.
Wait, I can prove it. Wait, do you want me to prove it? Wait, I can prove it. Do you want me to prove it? I can prove it. I can prove it. Do you want me to prove it?
What, Putin's psychic?
No, oh no. I will just that that Trump had weakened NATO. I'd be happy to give you the evidence that Trump weakened NATO.
Putin attacked Ukraine because Biden was in office.
Prove it.
It's don't need to. It's easy.
Yes, you do. It's your claim. Prove it. Where's the evidence?
Look at Biden.
Yeah, I'm looking at Biden. Prove it.
Yeah, he's not
Prove,
afraid.
wait,
of
prove
Biden.
that. So Biden and Kamala came to the defense of Ukraine and made it extremely difficult for Putin to actually do any of this. So if he
Sure,
did
they got
that for that
elected.
reason, then he did a really bad job of
They
it.
made it possible.
In what way did they make it possible?
They got elected
And how did that make it possible?
because Putin doesn't fear them. Putin doesn't care about them.
Well, wait, because Trump, according to Trump, he literally said that Russia can
So
do
how many
whatever they
wars-
want
how many
to
wars
any
were
country
started
that
during-
doesn't pay their
how
fair
many
share of
wars were
NATO.
started during
So
this,
Trump is literally
how
saying that
many-
he's not going to do shit to
how
stop
many-
Russia.
don't
Trump
personalize.
loves Putin. Trump is like
How
a
many wars
Putin
were
throat
started
goat.
during Trump's
So we have
Trump's
really
presidency?
strong evidence that Trump wouldn't do anything
How
to
many-
stop a
how
Russian
many wars
invasion
were
of
started during
Ukraine.
Trump's presidency.
Sorry, wait, say that again.
How many wars were started during Trump's presidency?
Yeah, there was the oh, so how are you defining war? That's gonna narrow the scope.
What happened in Ukraine and what's happening in the Middle East?
That's an
Those are
example, but
wars.
what do you define as a war? What's your definition of war?
There it is.
I'm just asking for a definition of war. Are you going to be able to provide that,
No,
or do you want to keep running?
I'm not Google. I'm just telling you those are what.
But
wars
could you?
are.
So I can tell you how many wars started, but I just need a definition of war.
How many wars?
I'm just asking you. Can I get a definition from you? What would you consider a war?
Something on the scale of Ukraine and the Middle East.
Something on the what's the units for this scale? Like conflict?
This is how you win arguments, man. This is sad.
I'm just trying to get clear on the definitions here. I think it would be foolish
what
to
I'm
rush
talking about.
forward
You
when
don't
we
talk
have
to people
a
real.
term as broad as
You don't-
war.
you don't
War
talk
can mean
to
a lot of
people
different
real.
things.
So I'll answer. There were zero during Trump's presidency.
Wait. Well, it depends what you mean by war.
I mean war, and there were zero.
Oh,
And now there's
that
two.
clarifies it so much. Thank you so much. Oh, a war is just a war. Oh,
Ask the
why
families of
didn't
the-
I think of that?
Ask
Oh,
the families of the dead Ukrainians what war is. So there's two now.
I'm just asking you for a definition. Will you be able to provide that?
Ask the parents. Okay, ask the families of all those in the Middle East and from October 7th and Ukraine what war is. They'll tell you what war is. They didn't
Yeah,
have.
I'm just asking you. So it seems like you're not able to provide me a definition. So there actually was a war that was started under Trump's presidency by a Trump action, by a direct Trump action. The Kurd conflict, which was brought about by Trump pulling support and pulling soldiers away from this area, led to the.
That's your answer why there's two wars right now. That's your comparison.
Wait. Well, hold on, because you said zero, but there actually is one.
Zero.
Well, wait. So what about the Kurd conflict?
Conflict. Always conflict. Oh, there's always conflicts.
Oh yeah, wait. So I mean, Hamas versus Israel under this definition wouldn't be a war because
So
a war is a
Kurd
thing. Wait, hold
conflict
on,
and what
hold
happened in
on,
Ukraine
hold
are
on,
not the
hold
same.
on, hold on. Because a war is a thing between two nation states, whereas a conflict would be things between two like entities. So if all you hold war to be is like a conflict between two entities, then that means that you would have to include Trump as starting the Kurd war, a war that he directly and verifiably did start, whereas you have literally no evidence
Right.
that Kamala
thing.
started either of these conflicts.
So this is the thing. There's two wars right now under this administration, and people can't afford groceries.
Oh
and
yeah, wait. Do you want to pivot to inflation?
whatever.
Because it seems like you have no answer on the war point, so you
No,
need to move
have
to
no-
inflation.
You have no answer. You're just spouting nonsense over there.
Wait. So my
wars
argument has been
now.
very
There's
very
two wars.
concise.
There's two wars, and there were none under his administration.
No, there was a war under his administration.
Okay.
There was the Kurdish conflict.
Okay. Just like Ukraine, right?
Yes.
Okay, so inflation. So are
We
you
got a
talking
pivoting
about-
Perry over here. Yeah. What policy did did Biden or Kamala do that caused inflation?
I don't know. I'm not president. I don't
Oh,
know.
gotcha. Wait, you have no idea. Wait, so how can you blame them if you don't know what policy they did?
Because they're in office.
Well, so you think, is Trump responsible for COVID?
Mm-mm.
But he was in office.
It's different. He didn't.
It's
choose
different.
that.
It's different.
It is different. Can't you tell a virus that came from somewhere else? And
Inflation was a global
economy, then
phenomena. You're just special pleading.
What?
Inflation was a global phenomena. You're just
Yeah.
special pleading
So
now.
we affect the whole world.
We affect the whole world?
Yeah, America affects the whole world.
Wait, so because you wanna say that
Well, how can we
Kamala and
contradict
Biden are responsible for wars and for inflation, but you can't identify what they actually did to cause it. Which means but
they're
when
in
I bring
office,
up wait,
that's all I need to know.
hold on, and when I push you farther in that, your answer to this is just that it happened under their administration.
'Cause that's all
So
you
if
need to
we
know.
bring this to the further conclusion, what you would be affirming is that anything that happens under a president's administration is their fault, which means you would have to affirm that Trump is responsible for COVID,
No,
that
that's your
all the
version
COVID
of-
unalivings, that all of the economic catastrophes that happened, that the 15% unemployment rate, that all of this stuff is Trump's fault. If that's the standard you want to go with,
No, it's not that's your standard. I
that's
don't see-
your standard.
it's not.
That is literally your
It's
standard.
literally not. I said the inflation is because of them in office.
Which policy?
Them being elected.
That's not a policy.
Well, they're in office. That's all I need to know. They affect
Wait.
the economy.
So then Trump
affect-
then COVID is Trump's fault because he was in office.
No, COVID isn't the economy.
Yeah, COVID isn't the economy, but Trump was in office for COVID.
Yeah, difference. You can see the difference easily.
What's the difference?
One's a virus that came from overseas. The other one is
Okay, wait. So, okay, do you think that that's what I was looking for when I'm asking you what's the difference? I'm not asking you to explain that one is a virus and one is the
This is a
economy.
Leviathan,
What I'm
guys.
asking you to explain. So one you would say. In
This is
one,
how
you would say
Leviathan
that Trump
argues.
that Trump is not responsible.
This is how
It's not his
Leviathan
fault that COVID happened at all. That's not his fault at all, even though it
Manipulation
happened under
system.
while he was in office. But
This is what
inflation
the-
is
this is what the
totally,
Leviathan does.
definitely 110% Biden and Kamala's fault, based on a policy that you can't even name.
Okay, well, they
because it
can't even
happened
fix
under
it.
their administration. So either a president is responsible for the things that happened under their administration,
Thank you.
or
God bless
they're
you.
responsible for the things that they caused. Which one's it going to be?
Responsible for economy can't be responsible for something that comes from overseas.
Wait. So
You
are they
should be able to
responsible? Are they
determine-
responsible for
You should
what
be able to
happened, for everything that
determine-
happened?
you should be able to determine the difference between that.
Are they responsible for everything that happens under their administration, or are they responsible?
Not when it's a virus that comes from overseas.
Which one? Which one? It's
virus.
one or the other.
The virus.
What was my question?
Are they responsible for every single thing that happens under their administration? Things like economy, yes. Things like diseases that come from overseas, no, nobody is.
So is Trump responsible for all the people who were unalived by COVID, or like the 15% unemployment rate?
No,
Oh, why not?
because he didn't start that virus. It didn't come from him.
Oh wait, but it happened here. The unemployment rate, or the handling of it, happened here.
Why aren't Biden and
Because
Kamala-
of his
why didn't
handling, there was a
Biden and
15%
Kamala fix it
unemployment
for
rate.
3.5 years. Why didn't they fix it?
Why didn't what?
Why didn't they fix anything?
Which thing do you think that they didn't fix?
The economy's horrible.
Oh yeah, so they did stabilize the economy. They invested in the long-term sustainability of the economy with things like the Chips and Science Act, with things like the Inflation Reduction Act.
Yeah, but people are
They
hungry now.
had
People wanna eat
massive
more.
investments into the future economy.
Yeah, that might turn out that way, but people can't afford groceries now, so we don't want that.
Oh yeah, I mean, unfortunately, this is just going to be so inflation came as a global phenomenon based on supply chain shortages, happened globally. It didn't happen because of Biden and Kamala. It was a global phenomenon. In fact, because of Biden and Kamala's handling of it, they recovered quicker than any G7 country.
You think you're okay? So you think they did a good job in the White House?
Yeah, given the shit economy that Trump gave them, yeah.
Sure, it was okay. So Trump was in office 4 years, and the Democrats were in office 12 of the last 16. So Trump is that powerful, and this administration couldn't do anything about it, is what you're telling me.
No. Well, just that they did stabilize the economy. That if you look at the inflation rates right now,
Everything's great.
inflation is way down.
Sure. What about the civil uprisings that go unchecked and all the crime that's through the roof?
Yeah, wait. Where are we pivoting to now?
Civil uprisings and
Gotcha. Because you couldn't hack the international relations point, so you pivoted to the economy. Then you couldn't
Well,
hack
that's
the
what you
economy
say.
point, so now you're
That's
pivoting
what I
to
you
like
don't talk like normal person.
relations. Well, yeah, I mean,
Maybe
yeah.
I'm just talking to you.
I
Maybe
don't
I'm
really
talking-
care about like the like rhetoric or meta commentary.
Deflection, pivot, deflection, pivot, deflection.
Yeah.
You're like a newscaster.
I'm I'm sorry that you don't like terms that describe what you do.
No, I just talk to people on here, but you're good. This is how you argue. Go for it.
Okay. Yeah. Wait. So which aspect of civil uprisings? What do you mean by civil uprising?
Riots, protests, people looting stores, all those things.
And wait. When did this happen?
When? A bunch of times.
Yeah. Like when?
I don't have exact dates. You just
Gotcha. Wait. A bunch of times. Name one.
Okay, so I'm going to say this. Everybody's seen them on the news. We've seen them on social media.
Yeah.
We've
Wait.
seen
Name
them
one.
everywhere.
Name one.
I don't have to. People know I'm right.
Yeah. Okay. Wait. Yeah. It happens all the time. I can't name one.
Well, I don't have to. People know I'm right.
Yeah. I can't name one. People know I'm right.
Yeah.
Yeah. There certainly was an uprising, a civil uprising. It was called January 6th.
No, it was at the Capitol too, but also in New York. There's parades and protests every single day, looting stores. I mean, everybody's seen it happen. I don't have the exact date when it took place.
Gotcha. Source, trust me, bro.
Multiple times.
It seems like you left your source in your other pocket.
No, I don't need a source for what's obvious.
You don't need a. Well, it's not
Everybody has
obvious.
eyeballs.
Give a
Everybody has
source.
eyeballs.
Wait. So
Everybody
and
has
what
eyeballs. Everybody has
could so what policy did Kamala or Biden create that caused this to happen?
Which one will cause what to happen?
Yeah, well, your nebulous, non-existent civil uprisings. Which policy or action by
The civil
Biden or
uprisings
Kamala
that
caused
everybody-
this?
The civil uprisings that everybody's seen is because we have a weak government who does not persecute or does not prosecute or arrest any of them for doing it.
Oh wait, do you think that these are federal crimes?
Some of them, yeah.
Which ones are federal crimes?
The ones that are federal.
The federal crimes are just the federal crimes. Oh, why didn't I think of that? Do you want to give like a real answer?
I did.
You didn't.
Yeah, there's defacing of historical monuments, hitting people, whatever. It's been a lot of stuff they've done. But I mean,
Well, wait. So I'm curious though. Wait, but what instances are we talking about?
pick one.
You're the one who's positing the claim. You pick one.
I don't really feel like talking about that.
God, you brought it up, big dog.
Yeah, but I didn't want to go into all this, what day and time and circumstance.
Just one example would suffice. Can we just get one example?
I mean, I could Google for you. I mean, sure. Let's see. What happened in Minnesota when they were setting everything on fire? There's one.
Wait, didn't that happen? So first of all, didn't happen. Second of all, didn't that happen under the Trump administration?
Let's see.
If you're referring to the BLM protests, first of all, 93% of them had literally no violence at all whatsoever. Not so much as like a case of like vandalism. But of the overwhelming minority, the vast minority of them, these all happened in 2020.
Okay.
Trump was in office.
It didn't happen in 20. They happened after 2020.
The BLM protests?
No, not the BLM protests. All these other protests over. I don't even get into that on here, man. I can't.
Yeah, wait. You have no explanation. You cited something that happened under Trump's administration.
No, something that happened under Biden's administration. I can't talk about those. I can't talk about. I'm a Christian. They don't let me talk about anything. Y'all know.
Yes, they do. We've been talking this entire time.
Okay.
This like weird persecution complex, as if the majority of the United States isn't Christian.
Okay, so do you get banned a lot?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I do too, and it's when I talk about stuff like that. So maybe they're more lenient on you, but maybe they're not. But anyway, I'm not worried about talking about it. But
Okay.
yeah, if you don't think there's been civil uprisings, okay, that's fine. I don't need to convince you. But two wars. This is why I'm voting for Trump. Mainly because
wait. You can't just restate these conclusions. I've already torn all of these in half.
abortion is the
You
most
pivoted away
important
from all of these.
Well, yeah, it's my life. I do what I want.
Gotcha. Yeah, you ran away from the point every single time.
What point? What point are you making? You're saying something didn't happen that happened. Because
You can't cite the thing. My point is that we should be holding people responsible for the things that happened or that they did.
Tons of riots. We see them all the time, bro.
We see them so often that you can't even name a single one.
No, I didn't see the date stamp.
So let's see them. Let's hear them.
No, I'm not worried about looking for them.
You're not interested in the facts because all you care about is feelings. Right. Your choice to vote for Trump isn't based on facts, it's based on feelings.
It's based on the word of God.
Yeah, the word of God which you can't defend.
Thou shalt not murder.
When we pressed you on the word of God, what it came down to was faith. You don't have any evidence that leads you to voting for Trump. You have faith in a Bronze Age fairy tale that you interpret as telling you to vote for Trump.
You know how you can spot racism? You know how you can spot racist? They call everybody else racist.
I don't think I called you racist.
No, I was talking to somebody in the chat. So, yeah, I'm voting for Trump, mainly on the abortion issue. He's pro-life.
All right, let's run the abortion issue. My opinion is pro-sentience. I think that lethal abortions should stop after sentience, but fortunately, non-lethal abortions are viable after sentience, so I support abortion up until like 24 to 26 weeks.
I don't.
Okay, why not?
Thou shalt not murder.
Okay, so what are we defining as murder?
Numbers 5 is not about abortion. It doesn't mention a child, and even if it did, it would be God doing it, not man. Murder is the cessation of life.
The cessation. Oh, okay. Wait. So
God knows us in the womb.
Wait. So when you finish into a sock, is that murder? Is that should you be tried in international court
Life
when
begins
you?
at conception.
Yeah. Oh, gotcha. So not life.
Begins at conception.
Wait. So is a sperm alive?
Life begins at conception. You know what conception is?
I do know what conception is, but is a sperm alive?
No. There's not
A
a
sperm isn't alive. Do you think your cells aren't
not
alive?
a person. It's not a person.
Oh,
not
got it. Wait.
biology.
So you don't. Your issue is not with life. It's with personhood. So okay, I have a question for you.
Life begins at conception.
You gotcha. So let's say that you're in an IVF clinic.
You can't answer everything his way. This is how you talk to him. Go ahead.
Yeah, sure. So let's say that you're in an IVF clinic and it's burning to the ground. Now, next to you, on your left, there is 10 frozen embryos, and you know that each one is going to be implanted successfully into a recipient who is like, who is very emotionally attached to it. You have 10 frozen embryos on your left, and you have one crying, screaming human child on your right. Which one are you saving from the fire? The 10 frozen embryos or the one human child?
The human child, of course.
Gotcha. So then, what's the deal with that?
When the sperm goes into the egg, that's when the life starts.
The sperm has already gone into the egg with the 10 frozen embryos.
Well, then all of them.
But you only get to save one or the other. The 10 frozen embryos or the one human child. Which one are you saving?
If that's the only issue on the ballot, if that was the only issue with abortion, I think we could probably come to some agreement. But it's not. It's on demand for however many months you want.
That's not an answer to my question. Which one are you saving? The 10 frozen embryos or the one human child?
If I could only get one, of course I'd take the child.
Oh, wait, but there's 10 people. Why would you save the one person over the 10 people?
You said I could only take one.
So you would pick one person over 10 people?
Yeah, if I could only, I'd have to pick one of them.
So what?
You think I should leave them all?
No? So presume that's the correct answer, but that means that you don't actually grant moral consideration. Wait, so let's change it.
Does it mean that?
1 million frozen embryos or one human child?
How am I going to carry them out? I can't carry a million of anything.
Yeah, you can. They're very small.
How small are they?
Let's look it up. How big is an embryo? About half an inch. How much does it weigh? How much?
Don't curse with letters, please.
How much does an embryo weigh? Embryos are around 0.07 ounces at 9 weeks.
Okay.
So it's very carryable. So let's say it's just like a big jar of 1 million embryos. So
Take the baby.
you're taking the baby over the one. So you would save one person instead of saving 1 million people.
Because they've been born already and they can feel pain.
Gotcha. So we grant moral consideration based on feeling pain.
Sure.
Perfect. So
if that's the situation you put me in.
yeah, so I have really bad news for your position on abortion. Because if your standard is feeling pain,
No, it's
then
not just feeling
that
pain.
begins at sentience, which means that you'd be pro-sentience.
No. See, you put me in your situation, your little hypothesis, and I answered the correct way, the way I wanted to answer. But now you're saying they have to be able to feel pain, or it's not an abortion, or it's not a murder.
So my point is that we grant moral consideration, we grant personhood at the stage when somebody is sentient, because then they can feel pain.
Okay.
So
If you put me in a situation where one has to go and the other one can be saved, then I put moral consideration. But I don't say that since that's the case, let's just abort every baby.
do you think that typically we should save more people rather than less people?
I think that abortion should not be legal.
Do you think that answers my question?
I think that's the answer you're going to get.
Gotcha. So you're not going to answer my question. So this is another thing that you are just not capable of contending with.
Easy answer. I'm against abortion.
Okay, so what's the problem with the prosentience
That
view?
was so easy. I mean, that was done 15 minutes ago. Life begins at conception. No exceptions for abortion.
Yeah, and I just demonstrated how that's like deeply unintuitive.
You tried. You did something. You didn't do nothing here.
Well, yeah, I did. Wait, you literally said that you'd save.
In your little hypothesis.
You ran yourself right into the prosentience position. You literally had to change your mind about it.
No, I didn't. I didn't.
Absolutely, yes, you did.
No, I didn't. In your hypothesis only. Get a vasectomy? No, I'm not getting a vasectomy.
Well, I mean, you did stumble into the prosentience position. You literally agreed that moral consideration starts when when the baby feels pain. That we grant the baby moral consideration because they feel pain.
You drew that conclusion. I didn't say that. You put me.
Oh, okay, wait. So how many frozen embryos would it need to be before you would save the frozen embryos?
I'm not answering your hypothetical.
Gotcha. Wait. So if there was infinity frozen embryos,
I answer your hypothetical for that situation. You attribute it to a whole doctrine I'm buying into, which is not the case.
Wait, well, this is actually a really good question, and I'm glad I thought of this. So let's say that there's infinity frozen embryos, and just assume that you have no problem carrying them. You can just carry all of them. Infinity frozen embryos, or one screaming, crying human child. Which one are you saving?
Life begins at conception, and I'm against abortion.
So which one are you saving?
That's my answer.
Which one are you saving? The infinite frozen embryos or the one human child?
In here.
Which one are you saving? Are you going to answer the question? Or are you going to run?
God. Wait,
You're not going to answer the question.
Yeah, I am answering the question. God considers it murder.
Just answer the question. Which one are you answering?
I'm not answering your hypotheticals because you can't take the answer. You attribute it to a whole thought process that you caused me to adopt, and I don't.
It's actually like super.
It is what it is.
This actually gets us directly to the conclusion that I want.
I answered your hypothetical question, and then you went on.
Yeah, wait, yeah, we're making
now
it more.
I attribute life to when they're sentient.
True. No, that is what you do. Okay, wait, but so then if you'd give the same answer, hold on. If you'd give the same answer, then that means that these embryos cannot possibly have any moral value at all, because if they had any moral value at all, infinity of them would outweigh the amount of moral value that the human child has, which means that these embryos do not have moral value, which means that there's nothing morally wrong about unaliving an embryo.
No, that's all in your head. Like it's.
So which step of the reasoning do you reject?
I don't, not rejecting or accepting anything. Life begins at conception, and I'm against abortion. God calls it murder.
Yeah, that's like super nice, but which step of my reasoning do you reject? Because if you don't reject a step of my reasoning,
your reasoning is whack.
Sure. Can you summarize the argument that I just made?
No, your reasoning is just nonsense.
Gotcha. So you weren't listening to the argument.
Your reasoning is nonsense. It's simple.
Could you summarize the thing that I just said?
Yes, I can summarize it. I'm not God, and I don't know where life starts, so I'm going to make it seem like this is where it starts, and this is what you believe. That's what you just said.
That's not what I just said.
That's what you just said.
That's not my argument.
Yes, it is.
So I'll run you through one more time. So if you would save one human baby over infinity embryos, then that means that the embryos have no moral value, because if they did have a non-zero, if they had a non-zero amount of moral value across infinity of them, eventually their cumulative moral value would outweigh the moral value of a human child. So because that's not the case, we know that they have zero moral value, which means that there is nothing wrong that like aborting an embryo, to me, one that's not sentient, is going to be the exact same level of morality as like crushing a water bottle. Like these things are just amoral actions.
Mm-hmm. What was your question?
The question was just, would you save the infinity embryos or the one human child? And it seems like you'd save the human child. So which step of the reasoning do you reject there?
I think the human child would feel pain and the embryos would not.
Gotcha. Wait, so then we would attribute zero moral value to the embryos.
No, I didn't say that.
Because if there is moral value to the embryos, then that means that their moral value would outweigh that of a human child because there's infinite of these embryos.
Well, I mean, maybe I wouldn't make the right decision. I don't know.
Okay.
It's a hard decision.
As long as you recognize that your stance on abortion is irrational, then
No,
thus
I don't
your
do that
choice
at
to
all.
vote for Trump is irrational.
No, absolutely not. I mean, I'm just going along with you and your hypothetical and everything, and you know, I hope I'm never put in that situation where I have to choose between a million frozen embryos and a baby. But that's I'm not anticipating that situation for me or anybody else. So I'm just against abortion. Simple.
All right, well, that's just about all I have, but I appreciate you having me up.
Sure. All right. All right. I would have never had him on. I apologize. I would have never had him on that long, but he brings in a lot of viewers. So let him think he cooked me. But yeah, I would have never put up with that long, guys. So thank you for bearing with me. And some people like that Leviathan argument. Leviathan twists and manipulates and doesn't really say anything. Causes confusion. So now we're going to block a bunch of you. He did cook. Guys, a natural man cannot cook a spiritual man. The Bible says the natural man cannot judge the things of the spirit because they're spiritually discerned. But the spiritual man judges all things. He wasn't even on the playing field, guys. He wasn't even at the park. He didn't even get in the ring. I'm not trying to boast, but he wasn't even in the ring. I was in the ring. He was yelling at me from outside the ring on the ground. But y'all can't see that, so you think he won. He won. So enjoy it. So if you don't have spiritual discernment, you can't really see what happened. But you can believe what you want. God bless you. I'm not going to argue with you. I hope somebody got something out of that. Thank you for coming here and showing me all the liberal love. I appreciate it. I mean, y'all are so loving. You keep putting L's in the chat. I appreciate that. I know that means love, liberal love. Sometimes it's overwhelming, but I really appreciate it. Thank you for all the L's. Sometimes that liberal love is overwhelming. Thank you. God bless. I love you too. God bless you. God bless you. Love you too. Love you too. Host didn't understand the conversation. Oh, what is that backwards? He wasn't even in the ring, guys. I was in the ring. He was on the side.